Good morning. We got Mickey Cup. Happy Thursday. It is almost the summer solstice. T's still sleeping. You know, I had a thought of something else to talk about today, but then as I woke up, I realized we have not done a review in a long time. And repetition is the mother of what? Skill. That's right. Repetition is the mother of skill. Don't be afraid to keep doing things over and over and over again. I have done the Tony Robbins Personal Power 2 tapes. I listened to those every day when I went for my morning walk for literally years and just ingrained all this stuff into my head. So what is the basic stuff that we've covered over the past several months? We've been doing this now for over 2 months. Amazing. You take little steps, and over time, this is how things happen. So, number one, most important thing in your life, state management. If you have the ability to manage your state in tough times, you have everything. If you don't have the ability to manage your state, then you've got nothing. It's the same thing as you either are designing your own life or you're becoming part of somebody else's design. We've talked about all kinds of different ways that you manage your state. Mostly it's the triad, right? The triad is physiology, how you use your physical body, and the quickest way to make a massive change in how you feel is change your physical body. Your body will lead and actually create your emotions, and we've even done that. We had an exercise where I showed you using music and using your physical body, using incantations, making your fist and saying yes. You change your physical body, you change how you feel. So in the triad, 3 things that decide what your state is. Number 1 is physiology. Number 2 is focus/belief. Whatever we focus on is what's going to be a reality for us. If all you look at is the brown in life, then all you're going to have is the brown in life. If you look for the bright colors and what's wonderful in life, then that's what you're going to have. Whatever you focus on is what you get. And secondly, it's focus/belief. Your belief about the event creates the event. Remember, our reality in this world is only created by what we believe about that reality. 2 people can have the exact same experience and have 2 completely different experiences internally as to what that means. And I talked about the difference between Barbara Streisand, I think that was the example that I used, and Bruce Springsteen, where they have the exact same physical response, and to one, it's getting ready to go on stage, and to the other, it's a panic attack. So our beliefs about the world and everything that contains in it dictates how our experience in life is. It's not what happens that matters, it's your response to it that matters. So physiology, focus/belief, and language. The words that we use mean everything. If you say something is horrible and horrifying and catastrophic and all these words, well, then that's going to be your reality. If you say that you're breaking down, somebody else might say, I'm breaking through. You know, is this failure or is it learning? Language decides all of these things. So, number 1 thing in your life in order to dictate a high quality of life is to be able to manage your state. Managing your state in tough times. How do you do that? Physiology, it's a triad. Physiology, focus/belief, and language. You can help manage the states of other people in the same way. You can help adjust their physiology. We do that with kids all the time. You don't feel good, go out and go do something. We kind of forget that as parents sometimes. We can use transformational vocabulary with people, which means simply this. As they start defining things, you can help them change that definition into something that serves them a little bit better. You can change their focus. So when they say that something is, the end of the world, you can use different language and try to help them change how they feel about certain things. So physiology, focus/belief, language. That creates state management, number 1 tool for everything. Second most important thing in life in order to have a high quality of life, whoever you surround yourself with is who you become. The 5 people you spend the most time with is who you are going to be. You don't have to be in physical proximity. It can be videos like this. It can be books. It can just be who you focus on. It doesn't matter, but understand whoever you surround yourself with, that's who you become. If you're going to the bar every night and you're surrounding yourself with the people at the bar, that's who you're going to become. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people, but it may or may not help you achieve your goals if that's what you're doing. So pay attention to those things. Guard your doors. Then we talked about the ultimate success formula and what is important there. If you want to achieve anything in life, anybody that's achieved anything, these are the steps that they've done. Step number one, they knew their outcome. Now, how did they know their outcome? Did they kind of know their outcome? I want to make some more money on some day. No, they knew a very specific outcome. They knew exactly what they wanted, and they knew a deadline by when they were gonna achieve that result. A goal is a dream with a deadline. So number one, know your outcome. Number two, take massive action. Massive action. Never leave the sight of a goal without taking significant action. If you want to fly from here to Hawaii, you get in that you make a decision that that's where you're going, and you decide exactly where you're going, not just Hawaii. It's a bunch of islands. You decide the specific island, and you're not just going to that island, you're going to the airport. You're not just going to the airport, you're going to the runway. You're not just going to the runway, you're going to the end of the runway where you can safely land. You know specifically where you want to go. And then you get in the plane and you get going. You fire up the engines and away you go. Now, as you're going, you're going to adjust because you're going to get thrown off course. So the third thing that you do is you have sensory acuity. You look around and make sure that what you're doing is bringing you closer to your goals and not taking you further away. When you get in that plane and take off, you're going to have a plan, right? So when you have your goal, you're gonna have a plan. We use the example of building a house. When do you start building a house? When it's already been built. And what do we mean by that? When you have all the plans already together, you have an outline, you know exactly what you're gonna do, you know exactly what you start building. Now, is it gonna end up exactly like it did in the plan? No, things are gonna change, but that's okay. You had a full plan to accomplish it before you decided to start building. And then you took off. So you take off towards your goal with your plan, and then you start adjusting. As you keep moving, you take a look around. You don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again expecting a different result. That is insanity. So you keep looking, and then you change your approach. If what you're doing is not bringing you closer to your goal, then you try something else. If it's not bringing you closer to your goal, then you try something else. Then you try something else. How many times do you keep trying until you achieve your result? The question that we asked is, how many times do parents try to have their children walk before they stop trying? As long as it takes. That's why everybody walks. So you keep trying until you get the result. We did the examples of Walt Disney, 302 bags before he started Disney World. We did the example of Thomas Edison, 10,000 experiments before he did the light bulb. And then the way to speed this up is by modeling. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you want to do something, find somebody else that's already achieved that result and then go find out what they did and then just do what they do. It quite honestly is that simple. Sow the same seeds and you will reap the same rewards. The same is true with regards to anything. If you want to feel a certain way, remember a time when you felt that way, and you can sow those same seeds and you'll reap the same rewards. We talked about creating lasting change and how it's a matter, first of all, of leverage, right? We have to have a belief that we can change. We have to believe that we need to change. And we have to believe that we need to change now. And what that really is leverage. When people get enough leverage, that's when they really decide to change. And most of the time, the leverage isn't about them. The best way to get leverage on somebody is to use something. We do a lot more for other people than we do for ourselves most of the time for most people. So if you want to get leverage on somebody or if they want to get leverage on themselves, generally speaking, the best way is to use somebody that they love. Kids are a great source for that in order to get leverage. So number one, you got to get leverage. You got to believe it can change. You got to believe you can change it. And you got to believe it has to change now, not in the future, but now. Then number 2, what do you got to do to create lasting change? Interrupt the pattern. Change your approach. You got to interrupt what you've been doing. We got to scratch that record, right? And otherwise, we're just going to play the same record over and over again. A fast is a great way to start a new eating plan because it interrupts that pattern. It scratches the record. It makes it so you have a difficult time running that same pattern again. So we interrupt the pattern. Then what do? Then we instill a new pattern. Then we find a new way of acting, and then we reward it. And how do you reward it? Simply by connecting feeling great, your physiology, with that new activity. See yourself doing the activity, feeling great. Seeing yourself doing the activity, feeling great. This is where morning incantations are actually very valuable, especially if you do them while you're exercising, because you feel good, see that result. Feel good, see that result. And keep moving along those lines. That is a quick review of what we've done over months. Somebody asked a question. So if you have a legal question, please IM me on Facebook, and I'll be happy to talk to you about a legal question. So over this time, we've had an opportunity to cover a lot of these topics. I'm going to cover them again, and I'm going to cover them again and again and again. And each time I do, we're really coming at it in a little bit of a different way. But understand, we're repeating these same ideas. But you'll always get value from repeating the same ideas and going back and talking about the same things because you're at a different stage in life. We're getting ready to fire back up again. Tony Robbins has scheduled his first UPW, and I think I have attended 6 UPWs over my lifetime, and I don't know how many I've crewed, dozens. And every time I'm at one of these, I get something new. And it's not that new things are said. New things are said. But what it really is the same thing said in a different way. And you end up with a different realization because you are at a different stage in life. And every time you make a new achievement in life, every time you become the next evolution of you, then you need another thing to look at, right? You need something else, some other piece of wisdom to take you to the next level. So when you look at things like this, when you watch videos like this, it's a never-ending stream of information because every time you're in a different place, and so all of a sudden you could be listening to something that you've heard before, but you'll go, that's what I needed to hear today because I needed that in order to move forward. So I offer these every morning because it's helpful to me. And today was a great opportunity to take a review. We're getting close to the summer solstice. It's almost the longest day of the year. I love this time of year. I love it when the sun is up this long. I got new stuff to talk about starting tomorrow, but I want everybody to understand state management is really what a great deal of this comes down to, right? Different ways of looking at things, different ways of motivating yourself, and we utilize that state. Do it first with physiology. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you remembered something that you needed to, and have a great day. Let's take care of each other out there.